Hello, welcome to today's video, and this video is completely inspired by Hannah Louise Poston and Glitter Fallout. They both have done videos where they didn't talk about which brands they were using, where they did their makeup but did not mention any of the brands that were using. They did just list the products in the description box for anyone that was really interested in which products were being used. But other than that, it was all about the application and the final outcome, and I just absolutely love the idea. And I will link their channels as well as their videos down below. I definitely recommend you watch them because they are just a nice change of pace. For my channel, I'm only going to be focusing on the eyeshadow, as that is the focus of my channel, is just eyeshadows, palettes, etc. Multi-chrome, shifty, shiny, sparkly eyeshadows. But let me know if you would like to see me do a full face version of this. I can definitely do that. I just figured that most people are probably not interested because that is not why you subscribe to my channel. So I'm going to be creating a look using an eyeshadow palette that is laying right in front of me. It is a secret. Now if you want, and you're a huge makeup, especially indie makeup enthusiast, if you want to try it and guess the palette based on the color story and the colors that I'm using on the lid, I thought that'd be fun. I will put the name of the palette in the description box, hidden down below, just in case you just absolutely want to know which palette, or maybe you already have some of these similar tones and you don't need to know the palette at all and you can just grab from your collection and recreate this look. So let's get right into it. So first I am priming both my lids. I don't really ever do both eyes at the same time, so this will also be a little bit different. You'll actually see me do a look on both eyes, and obviously I'm not going to also mention which eyeshadow primer I'm using. I have so many that it would be pretty hard to probably guess. So I'm just gonna, I usually just spread it with my fingers. Sometimes I go and reach for a brush, but not very often, to be honest. I did just check and make sure that I didn't already do a look like this, because I definitely feel like I tend to gravitate towards certain looks with certain palettes. So I'm first going in with a super pale pastel yellow. Hint number one, just kidding. It could be like, this probably narrows it down to, I don't know, 1,000 palettes. And just putting that onto the inner crease, essentially, which is, I don't mind that it's a little less pigmented, but it's still adding a little bit of pop. It's just taking a little bit of building up since it is such a pastel shade. And then I'm taking a peach right next to that. And I'm really curious to see people trying to guess, because I think that's also going to be very telling on how unique a color story is. But it could also have to do with how well known the brand is, how well known their palettes are. I do think this is a pretty well known indie brand. And then I'm taking a lavender on the outer corner and just kind of blending it out and under. I'm using the same brush because I'm just wiping it off in between. I do this all the time. I don't have any clean brushes anyway, so kind of stuck in the situation that I put myself in. I really need to clean my brushes. And then doing the same on this side, and obviously always doing the triangular shape out here. Just find it really flattering. Also, can you guess what's on my cheeks? Can you guess what's on my cheeks? Whew! Whew, let me tell you, I was not expecting it. And I went in and here we are. Probably the blingiest cheek I've ever had. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more peach over here. I feel like I lost it a little bit. And then here, I am loving so far. Like, you could just leave it like this and just go in with shimmers, or even just put this all over the lid, but I really like so far how this looks. And I'm bringing it down underneath my lash line, just blending it. Super blendy kind of look. And then I'm taking basically a deeper version of the periwinkle, except maybe this one's a little bit more, maybe a little bit more purpley versus periwinkle. Well, the other one's like it's like a grungy periwinkle. So I'm just tapping it down first, and then I'm gonna take it underneath just a little bit, my lower lash line, just to deepen it up here. Then I'm gonna go back in with the other brush and just a little bit of this shadow and just blend it out. Little bit by little bit. Same on this side. Just try to even these out. I feel like this one's a little bit more blown out maybe. So I'm gonna go in with the other periwinkle shade. It feels so weird not to be reading the shades in here, but loving that. So I'm liking how that's looking, but if you know me, I tend to always want to deepen it up even further. So I'm just gonna go in with a black, and I just got that on my face because my hand got caught on my other hand, but that's okay. We're gonna fix this. Just taking it underneath my lower lash line, and I'm gonna take that blending brush. We're just gonna blend, and then a little bit of the periwinkle, help blend that. And I'm so mad that I have this shadow all over my face now, but we're gonna continue on. So I'm just creating essentially kind of like a little wing with this shade, but I feel like I'm starting to layer too many shadows, so it's starting to get a little more of like a wash. I'm just going in with a little bit more, and I'm just stamping it at this point, and then I'm just going to lightly swipe this one outward to get that wing, and then now I'm gonna even it out on this side, which will be fun. Just taking it along my top lash line, got a little bit of fallout, and just flicking it out. I do this kind of eyeshadow wing all the time. It's kind of my go-to. Pretty much if I'm going to work, I do some sort of eyeshadow wing. Rarely do I ever wear liquid eyeshadow, to be honest. And then I'm just gonna tap on a tiny bit more. I feel like that's pretty even. Okay, putting on a little bit of a tacky primer all over the lid essentially. I think I'm gonna go with a peach. Yeah, I'm gonna do the peach here. It's a little bit more like a satin, and then a super sparkly yellow on the inner portion. Oh, that's fun. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit, and I'm gonna go in with my previous blending brush and just blend here. Make sure the shimmer is nice and blended in there, and then just going back in and doing the same thing on this eye, laying down this primer, picking up the peach, and then the super sparkly yellow. It has a little bit of like a green shift in it. It's more like a duochrome. Loving how that one looks. Kind of thinking of doing something underneath my little lash line. There's like a pink I can use, so let me do that actually. So I'm gonna take a pencil brush. So this shade is like a pink blue duochrome. I'm just gonna put that underneath my lower lash line and misted my brush very lightly to just help that put down underneath the other eye. Really like the addition of this one actually. I love shimmers underneath my little lash line. That's been for sure like my favorite thing in 2023. I put on some lashes, so here's the finished look. Let me know your guesses. I'm really curious to know if anyone can guess the palette based on the look. I used quite a bit of the shades, so I feel like you get a pretty good idea on what the color story is of the palette. But let me know what you think of the series, and if you would like to see a full face version, or do you want me to stick to the eyeshadow palette version? Do you want to see a multi-chrome version? That might be really tricky because there's so many dupes across all the different brands, so I'm not really sure how that one will work, but let me know if you have any ideas. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and definitely check out the other two creators' videos. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.